everyone, it's Adele de Caso here. How are you? It's been a while since I recorded a video, but it's the new year, so I thought I would say Happy New Year to you all and give you some of my best tips for 2024. These are things that I've used, on and off over the past few years. Some of them are quite new things, but they're all things that I really want to take into 2024 with me, because they're the things that I've realised have had the biggest impact on me, made me feel the best that I could, and they're just all things that I really believe in now, so I'm going to share them with you. There's 8 things. No, there's 7 things. There's 7 things, sorry. So the first one is your mindset and personal growth. It's something that needs to be worked on daily. It isn't just something that you can work on, go mad on and do lots of, and then not do it again, for another month or so, or another week or so. You've got to work on it every single day. I've realised that. I always think if there's something that doesn't feel quite right, if I don't feel quite right and I'm not motivated or I'm not inspired, it's because I've not worked on myself that day. So you've always got to be, reading something or listening to something positive, listening to something that fires you up. It's got to be a daily thing, and it doesn't have to be a massive period of time. It can just be for 10 minutes in the morning, first thing, just to set you up for the day. So just remember that. Mindset work needs to be ongoing. It's never finished. You've got to just keep working at it all the time. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the to-do list. Now, this is something so simple, but it can really make a difference if we don't do this. So I've got, as you know, I've got a daily planner that I created myself so that I knew everything was on there that I needed. And it's part of that planner is the to-do list. But then for a while, towards the end of last year, for a while, I started using a different journal because I'd had a new journal, and I started using that. So I wasn't actually completing my daily planner. And it took me a while to realise, but it was really affecting me. I was kind of keeping my to-do list in my head. I wasn't writing it down anywhere. And then a friend of mine did a live, and she was talking about, the magic of the to-do list again. And I thought, wow, that really has, the fact that I've not been doing that, it's really affected me. I've not been as productive. I definitely hadn't been as productive as I used to be. So I quickly, grabbed my planner and started filling it in again daily. And it's not just the to-do list on there, it's the other lists. I was always writing, things that I was grateful for. Gratitude is something that I never fail to do it every day, whether I'm writing it in my journal or on my planner or in my notes on my phone. It always gets written down somewhere. So it wasn't the gratitude that I was missing out on. It was the to-do list. But on my planner, I've got the gratitude, I've got the abundance tracker as well. So I track anything that comes into my life that I'm grateful for, but also anything that comes into my life that makes me feel abundant. So that really works. But the to-do list, simple as it is, it was making a massive difference not having that. I was thinking I was keeping track of things in my head, and I wasn't really. So now I've been doing that for about the past month and a half, and I've achieved so much. It's incredible. I can't believe how effective the to-do list is. So literally, I used to write it the night before. I don't write it the night before anymore. I write it first thing in the morning. I come home from school, do my yoga, and I sit and write out my to-do list and fill in my planner, and then I read as well. So it's really made a big difference. So, even if it's just a few things that go on it each day, sometimes I'll put things on. They don't get finished, but then at least they're in somehow, because I've written them down, they're in there and they carry over to the next day. Number 3 was I was listening to a podcast just before, it was while I was wrapping my Christmas presents actually, and it was Elizabeth Day interviewing Brené Brown. And I've listened to Brené Brown before and I've always admired her, but she was talking about fitting in. And it was something that I just thought, wow, it just, in that moment, it just made me really think, wow, that is such a powerful thing that she's saying. And she was saying, how when we try to fit in, I can relate to this so much when I look back to, my teenage years and my early 20s. I was always trying to fit in. And when we try to fit in, we change ourselves in some way to make ourselves be liked, or to make ourselves like the other people that we're trying to fit in with. She says, you don't want to try and fit in. You want to belong. And when you belong to something, you are being yourself and bringing, your authentic self to the situation. And if you belong, that is so much nicer than trying to fit in. What you feel when you belong, you feel part of something by being yourself, and that is what we should always, strive to do, is be ourselves, as much as we can. Yes, we try and improve ourselves and make ourselves the best version of ourselves, but we should never change who we are at our core. It's who we are. So I really liked that. Just stop trying to fit in. Just belong, and you will naturally belong in the places where you're meant to be. So I really loved that. Number 4 was, this is something that I've come up with myself, and I've learned it from experience. If I'm struggling, and feeling stuck trying to figure something out, then I stop trying to figure it out now. I've realised that. I used to, put all my effort into trying to figure it out, why something wasn't working, why I couldn't think of, something, why I couldn't get the inspiration I needed, and I would really fight against it and try to figure it out. But I've realised now that the best thing to do in that situation is just take a step back. Go and do something relaxing, go and do something that I love doing, and then come back to it later. And I often find, 9 times out of 10, that I'll get the inspiration that I need to solve the problem, or to figure out what it was I wanted to write, or, there's always, the solution always comes when I try and switch off and, don't fight against it. So that's a really big tip of mine. Listen to your intuition. Don't try and figure it out and make it hard work for yourself. Number 5, I was recently reminded of a quote that I'd heard quite a few years ago, and it was to be inspired by people that you look up to, but don't be so in awe of them that you intimidate yourself. And I think these days this can happen a lot. We do look up to people. There's people everywhere, and we compare ourselves, don't we? So try not to do that. Try not to compare yourself. Try not to intimidate yourself and feel like, because sometimes we can look up to these people for inspiration and motivation, but then we end up feeling discouraged and feeling like we aren't good enough. So, you've got to draw the line. Be inspired by them, but don't intimidate yourself. And if it gets to the point where you're feeling that way, then, walk away and do something else. Don't, it's great to get, tips and learn from people. And I'm not disputing that at all. I do loads of that, and I've got mentors that I look up to. But don't get to the point where you're feeling, like it's not good for you. It's intimidating you rather than helping you. Number 6 is be grateful every day. I've already talked about that. I've already included that when I talked about my planner. So whatever it is, however you choose to do that, just record your gratitude, acknowledge the things that you're grateful for daily, and you'll see that more things come to you that you can be grateful for too. And number 7 is say yes to your desires. So this is something that I've started to do more and more of recently. Sometimes we can feel guilty when we go and do something that is for ourselves, but the better you can make yourself feel, the more service you are to other people. So I really believe that we should say yes to our desires, do what we want to do, at least, to some degree, every single day. Make sure that you're doing something every day that makes you feel good and is for your benefit. Because like I say, you will then be of more benefit to other people and be able to help them more. So those are my 7 tips. I hope they help you. If you have any questions, please let me know. There's currently a sale on my website in my shop on a few items. A couple of the books and my planner is on offer at the moment as well. So it's something, if you want to go into the new year and be organised and, feel like you're on track and, achieving things that you want to achieve, then it's a great time to either get one of the planners, or my other one is the book 52 Tips for a Fantastic Year. That's on offer too. So if you want to go and have a look at that, it's at adeledcaso.com, and you just go to the shop and you'll see all the products there. So I hope you're having a great new year so far, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye for now.